guys, thanks for joining me. It's Lizzie, and thank you so much for clicking on my video, and I hope it's not going to be too long. It's just a quick little in-store Singlewick 5.95 sale that Bath & Body Works was having for their flash sale on Saturday. So it was a one-day only sale, and I had mentioned before in my previous videos that this was rumored to be happening, so I was going to try to do a price adjustment on I think it was 19 single wicks that I had purchased the week before when they all released, and I used a 20% off coupon, bringing them down to like $8 each. But, you know, with the $6 sale, I was like, oh, that's like 40 bucks. So why not go ahead and try and get a price adjustment? So first, before I get started into my long spiel and little rant, I guess, about the price adjustment, I will show you what I did pick up in store. Just 6 little candles here, and I love the little single wick crates that they have now for them, so I was happy to just put them all in this and I could save it for my storage. Nothing new. They're all doubles pretty much of what I got last weekend for regular price, and so I got another Pure Wonder in this packaging, a Sweater Weather. I'm just really liking the scent this year. Usually I avoided it. Another Twisted Peppermint. I just think that one is so cute. Of course, another peppermint sugar cookie. This one was not a double, actually. It's Merry Cookie. I just decided to pick that one up with the little gingerbread man. And last, this is a double, Snowy Place Like Home, which is the Falling Flurry scent. Just like a nice, fresh, clean scent. So yeah, I picked those up in store, but let me go off about my little price adjustments. So I was like, sweet, $6, save me about 40 bucks if I can just get that price adjusted. Called Bath & Body Works. The person was just like, no, we can't do the price adjustment because it's a one-day flash sale and we don't do adjustments on those. And I was like, so basically you're saying I have to take my candles back to my store, return them, and then repurchase them to get the adjusted price? And she's like, yeah. So that kind of ticked me off. So I was like, okay, makes no sense, but sure. It's worth it for me to go to my store and I'll do that. But I wanted to call them first to see, if that was okay. Actually, I wanted to call them first to see if I really had to bring all 19 candles in when I could just bring the receipt and do it that way. So I spoke to a lovely, one of the store managers there. Her name was, well, I won't say her name just in case, but she was very nice. And I was like, hey, this is what the customer service rep told me over the phone. So would it be okay if I just brought the receipt and can we just do like the return and repurchase that way instead of bringing all 19 candles in because there's so many? And she's like, oh yeah, of course, just bring the receipt in and I'll still be here if you're coming soon, and I'll definitely take care of this for you. And I was just so relieved, and I was like, great, perfect. I don't know why the customer service person just couldn't do it over the phone, but yeah, I'm fine. Get an excuse to go into my store, see what else they have. Not much else was in there. So I'm like, go to the register, and like I said, I didn't want to have them do that return and not have something purchased and give them that kind of business. And she was there, and she's like, yeah, I talked to you, and this is what we'll do. And she was like, I brought all of my receipts. There was multiples. I marked each one that was on there that was charged, and tried to make it easier for them. But I guess they have a new system with the online returns where now for some reason it doesn't process them right away. Like it doesn't ring them up right, or I don't know, some issue, or maybe they just, didn't really know how to work the new system. I'm not really sure. She got the other manager over to see if they could work it out. And I don't know, somehow they were not re-ringing up correctly. So they're basically like, can you go back and get all those candles? And I'm like, and the girl's like, I told her she didn't need to bring them. And he's like, I don't think we can ring them up without them. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bother if that's the case. But she's like, well, let me process all of the ones as a return, and then we'll grab the ones that we have in store and re-ring them up for you and have you repurchase them at the new price. But some of them were online exclusives, so unfortunately we can't do those. And I think there was 4 or 5 online exclusives. So I'm like, that's fine. I really appreciate it, you guys. Thank you so much. I know this is a hassle, and as long as I get something back, it would have been like about $30 back. I'm like, perfect, whatever. So they gave me my refund, got the email right away that I'm getting refunded. Then they rang everything up again, and I repurchased them, technically. And it wasn't as much as I expected. I was like, it was only like a $15 difference. And she even said something like, oh, wow, you saved, $15 by doing that. And I was like, I wouldn't have bothered if it was $15. So I was like, that's weird. So, I didn't want to cause a huge hassle. There was a lot of people there, and they already were taking like 20 minutes at the register with me. So I felt bad. So I was just like, okay, well, I'll go home. I'll look at my receipts, because the return receipt refund was emailed to me. So I like checked my receipt for the email and looked at the receipt for the repurchases. And basically, they had done the return, which I guess this made it even more complicated. 3 of the Singlewicks that were in store were ones that I had used free rewards on from my purchase online. So they rang up nothing for my return, but they had rang them up as repurchases when I rebought everything. So 3 of them I ended up paying for, or like not getting refunded for. So that was like about $20. So I was like, yep, there it is. That's why. I was like, well, I'm not going to bother. It's just, I'm already like, feel like I'm being a big pain in the ass for them. And I really appreciate that at least I got some of the money back with this exchange. But yeah, I'm not going to, bother them again. But, I called Bath and Body Works again, spoke to a different representative, and I was like, hey, I did a price adjustment with my store, but for some reason they couldn't do some of the candles at the store because they were online exclusive. So are you able to do the price adjustment with me over the phone? And lo and behold, this representative said, yes, of course, we could do the price adjustment over the phone. Yeah, no problem. It took a little while with her. I don't know if this is just a whole weird process. She came back and was like, okay, the price adjustment should be going through. And I was like, okay, well, how much is that price adjustment? And she's like, oh, well, let me find out. So I'm like, well, did you really put it through then? So she like did some more and then was like, okay, you should be getting like 25 something back. I'm like, yo, that's perfect. That's like about the $40 I was expecting total. And I'm like, so will I be getting an email regarding this refund? And she's like, yep, you'll get the email, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, great. I never got the email. And I know it says it could take 2 to 3 days for the refund and everything to show up. But when I use PayPal for my orders, I always get like an email notification right away from PayPal. Like, here's your refund. Here's your reprocessing of the refund, blah, blah, blah. So I never got that. A couple hours later, I'm like, maybe I'm just being really anal about this. I'm like, I'm going to call them again and see if that really went through. And I spoke to this other representative who was very nice. And she's like, I don't see this processing. I don't know what she was doing. And I'm like, can you see the notes on her account? She said it was like 25 something. I'm just like, basically, I was like, whatever is easier. Like, I could do a store gift card. I always shop with you guys. I could do a 20% coupon for a future use. I just, feel like I should be getting something back for my purchases that are now cheaper. And she saw what the previous representative, I guess, tried to do and was like, yeah, it didn't go through for some reason. Let me try. And then she tried. She's like, no, it's not letting it go through. And I don't know. So she's like, yeah, let me just go ahead and I'll get you a 20% off coupon for future. So I was like, that's fine, as long as it's something. But that is quite a freaking hassle. Like, I know I was probably being a little petty, but I feel like it's my money. It's the money I've spent and spend a lot there at Bath and Body Works. So I feel like definitely if you're willing to go through the multiple channels and processes of trying to get what is, due back to you, you should. But it does come at a cost. And I pretty much was just like, basically, I should have just called back and spoken to a different rep after the first time, not even bothered going to my store and just tried to do the whole price adjustment over the phone a second time with somebody, because I think the whole store return messed it up because they saw that on their end, and then it just wouldn't let them do it. I don't know. I just feel like Bath and Body Works needs to be on the same page, like across the board. They're like a super huge company, and I feel like the stores all releasing different, items at different times and having different sales than other stores, and it just like bothers me. I feel like as a store chain, you should definitely all be having the same exact, items and prices and policies that everybody else has to follow. Like some stores, I guess, won't do exchanges for some things, and I don't like how it just depends on who you get. It just depends on who you talk to and how your store is, and I just cannot stand that. I like to know exactly what's happening when I plan to do a return if I have to, or do an exchange, or when I'm buying something. So moral of the story is I am getting at least that coupon. I haven't gotten it yet, but believe me, I will follow up if I don't. And at least I had some of my money back. And like I said, I did get these candles, and it's a good price. And I can always do exchanges if I want to later. But weekend. And happy Halloween. I know this video is going up after Halloween, but I just thought I would share my little story and experience and see if any of you have ever had that happen for flash sale price adjustments or not. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.